Hello and welcome to a very special review of Housemarque's Alienation. Lay back, relax your thumbs, and take a deep breath. It's time for Just the Tips. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Just the Tips. I am indeed Misa Perfect with Second Nature Gaming. Today we are taking a look at one of my favorite games on the PlayStation 4, and quite frankly, one of my favorite games to date. Welcome to the world of Alienation. If you are new to the title, Alienation is a top-down, twin-stick shooter action RPG. If you have played games like Zombie Nation, Helldivers, or Gauntlet, then you have a feel for the genre. This game is a nail-biting, great time full of action-packed gameplay. Let's get started. Graphics. Alienation has crisp, clear, lovely colors, but somehow they are not overwhelming or distracting. Remember Diablo 3 and their rainbow? Your gunfire and skills do give off colors, but yet they are not going to stop you from being able to play the game. The fog in the area, the different surroundings that you encounter are just beautiful. I have had no problem playing with 4 people in a co-op environment online while recording, and I have yet to dip below 30 frames per second. From the explosions, the animations, the different weapons effects, all the graphics are really clear. Housemarque really knocked it out of the park here, and I'm not just saying that as a fanboy. Gameplay. This is a masterful twin-stick shooter, action-style RPG. Hyper-responsive controls. If you die, it is your own fault, other than the 1 or 2 times that you might have some internet connection issues on your end, not on the game's end. You are essentially playing a shorter version of Diablo, but with guns. I have yet to find another action RPG with the same replay ability. Now, the loot-based action RPG system does leave something to be desired with the RNG, but every game's going to have something that's just not quite tweaked perfectly. There's enough difference in the enemies in this game to keep you from feeling disinterested. The different enemies cycle themselves in and out of progressive maps so that you're never feeling exhausted of one type. Some of the enemies are easier, some are harder. The amount of times that enemies will warp in behind you to make sure that you don't have the easiest time running away. It's just really well balanced. Alienation does a great job of giving you the ability to make the game as challenging as you want. If it's too easy for you on any of the skill levels, go hardcore mode. Remember permanent death? Each map has 6 different playable difficulties. Each difficulty sees an increase to enemy level, but also a substantial increase to loot drops. Alienation features single-player, couch, or online co-op for 1 to 4 players. Once you beat the game, if it's still too easy for you, you can always select some bounties and add additional challenge for a greater reward. Once you do beat the game, you have the ability to start another difficulty playthrough on World Level 2. This adds additional levels to each enemy. There is more than enough variation in weapons to stay hooked. I do recommend you purchase the Season Pass for the additional upgrade of using primary weapons from other classes. Additionally, you have the ability to find weapons with skills on attack, match stats for bonuses, as well as re-rolling your statistics. You can re-roll each of those rate of fire, damage, critical hit chance, and clip size. For your maximum level, you're looking at a base level of 30, and much like Diablo 3's Paragon levels, you can reach a maximum of 300. Each of those additional levels gives you a small upgrade to your health. Alienation has massive maps. Each map is dotted with special mini-bosses, all of whom have special combinations of abilities. There are time challenges, hideouts to clear, as well as ambushes. For replay factor, The draw of the next drop and stacking loot bonuses by breaking respawn pylons encourages you and draws you to clear entire maps, often taking on bosses that might end your alien hunting career early. When you do finish the story mode, you have the opportunity to take on UFOs and motherships utilizing single-use keys you acquire through special events. In Alienation, you have 3 classes to choose from. Each class has the same 3 passive skills, but each class also has 3 very different active skills. Alienation features roughly a 5 to 7 hour campaign depending on how quickly you rush through, while the story does just enough to compel you to listen to the audio updates in game and to read the mission synopsis at the start of the mission. There is a smooth transition between story and gameplay sequences as well. When the evacuation helicopter arrives at the end of some of the later missions, you will breathe a heavy sigh of relief. And to be fair, while the story does leave a few loose ends floating, let's be honest, we're not really playing an action RPG for the story.
Mamba story-driven video games? Ooh, hi Mamba!
If you're drawn to it, compete on the leaderboard to try to get as high as you can, representing your country. Leaderboards are also a great way to rag on your friends. For summary, there's more than enough loot to keep you hooked. The hyper-responsive controls mean it is your fault when you die. There's a very high replayability, great music and effects, voice acting keeps you engaged and reminds you that you aren't just shooting aliens for the fun of it, there is some story. On the con side, it is next to impossible to get the best weapons in the game. RNG is horrible. No ability to revive your squad mates in hardcore, even though you can see them on the ground, you can make it beside them and they're begging. It would be nice to have that added feature. You are unable to delete your characters from the menu, so when you fill that sucker up, you have to save over them rather than keeping it clean, and you lose valuable split seconds blinking in this game. For a $20 game on the PlayStation Network, you can get hours and hours of action RPG loot-based fun. In my opinion, you can't go wrong, even if you grab that extra $10 season pass. Personally, I cannot remember a more enjoyable action RPG, especially with a friend. I highly encourage you to pick this game up.